Hello pilots and welcome to MotionRC.com. Today is another exciting day here at MotionRC because the 470 GPS helicopter line is officially here from RotorScale. Now, these helicopters were developed in partnership with Roban to bring you the finest helicopters right out of the box that are ready to fly with the most detail and beautiful scale features of any model to date in the helicopter world. The 470 helicopters come completely ready to fly right out of the box with a transmitter, battery, and charger. They also come with a full lighting package, which we'll go over at a later time in the video. Now, the first thing you need to do when you get your new helicopter out of the box is install your two main blades. The way you do this is you're going to push your main blade onto the grip, then pass the bolt in from the top to the bottom, reach up from the bottom, and add your nut from there that is a locking nut. Then tighten them up till they stop. You don't want to over tighten these. And the way you check this is you hold the helicopter on its side, then give it an abrupt up and down movement. If the blades can sag after you do that, you know you got them correct. If they don't move, you've got them too tight. Now, the next thing in the assembly process of the Huey is to install the side windows. Now, they come uninstalled from the aircraft for customers that want better cooling. They can leave them out. Although I've been flying this thing constantly with the windows in, and it has been no issues. But it is an option for you. I just used a little bit of our contact cement that comes in a lot of the Freewing model kits to install mine into the aircraft. Worked really well. Now, the Huey also is one of the only models that you do need to apply your decals to. Now, the fun thing here is you can kind of pick and choose what you want to put on it from the US Army, or you can put the full package on it like you see mine here. Super easy though. You get these water slid on, and then they have a protective film on the outside that you just pull off to make them seat on the aircraft. The next thing in the assembly of the Huey is you just need to screw all of your guns and missile pods on if you choose to use them. Some Hueys didn't fly with them, so it's up to the customer whether or not you fly with your missiles and guns attached to this model. So now that you have your helicopter together, you're going to see that the absolute beautiful scale body on this helicopter is stunning. You have all the correct rivet detail, you have the exhaust ports, you have the metal screens on the turbine in the back of the helicopter that really add a lot of details. And the other thing you're going to notice right off the bat the first time you plug this model in is how cool all the lights are. Now, speaking of the lights, there's actually a light controller built into this. On the back of your transmitter, on the right-hand side, there is a button. If you push that button, you can go through all the different lighting sequences of the Huey. You can pick where you want solid lights, you've got your strobes, you can change all of those different lights with the push of a button. And that does work while you're in flight. Now, for cleaning and care of the Huey, be careful with this one. You don't want to use any kind of wax cleaners on it. Nothing with ammonia in it, so no Windex. Like I said, I like spray away glass cleaner. It cleans the model really well without actually damaging any of the finish. This is a flat paint job and it is real paint. So if you use any kind of wax on it, it's going to look really weird and get milky. So be careful on the flat model to only clean this with either soapy water or, like I said, a glass cleaner that has no ammonia in it. So at this point, let's actually talk about how you fire this model up and take it out to the field to fly it. The first step in powering this model on is to hold the two buttons at the bottom of your transmitter. That will power the transmitter on. If any of your switches are not in the upmost positions, it's going to give you a warning at this point telling you that you need to flip all your switches up. Once you've done that, the warning will go away, the transmitter will activate. At this point, we need to reach up and flip where it says run into the cut position, and that will actually get our transmitter ready to start up. So at this point, let's go over to the helicopter, install our 5200 milliamp battery that was provided in the kit. After you have that installed, we simply plug our XT60 connector in. The helicopter will arm. You'll see the head move, and the light on the top of the Roban controller is going to actually flash for a few seconds, then go to a solid flashing blue light. Now, at this point, you need to step back away from the helicopter and give it about 1 to 2 minutes for it to do all of its initialization, arming, get its GPS calibration. it needs to be outside to actually arm. It has to be able to get satellite. Once it is ready, the light will change from that blue flashing to a green flashing light. At that point, what you need to do to actually arm the helicopter is hold your throttle or your collective channel down and to the right side for 5 seconds. The indicator light on top of the flight controller will turn to a solid green light, telling you you're ready to take off. It's as simple as flipping the cut switch to run, and the helicopter will start to activate and turn on at that point. Well guys, let's head out to the field and actually see this thing in action now. All right, pilots, now we're ready to actually fly our Huey. So I have the helicopter setting with the tail towards me. The front section of the helicopter is pointing away from me. That way, whenever I take off, all my controls are going to be the correct direction. So if you use this stick to push it to the right, the helicopter is going to drift to the right. If you push it to the left, the helicopter will drift to the left. Push it forward, it's going to go away from you. Push it towards you, it's going to come to you. That's why I always recommend taking off nose out. Here we go. To initialize, down into the bottom on this stick for 5 seconds. Wait a little bit longer just to make sure. Now we're going to flip it to run. We're going to let the head speed come up. Listen for it to level out. There it is. Now we're just going to advance the collective stick up until the helicopter takes off. Get to a comfortable altitude, and we can let go of the stick. Now this has full GPS in it, so that helicopter is going to try its best to stay right where it is. It is slightly windy out here right now, about 10 gusting to 15, and you can see how good that helicopter is still setting where it's supposed to be. Now I'm going to fly it at this point. The cool thing with these is there's something you can learn on. If you want to fly full collective pitch helicopters, it has all the features of a full collective pitch helicopter in it. Or if you just want to fly it like this and have a good time just as it is, you can. So this is the GPS mode. There's also what's called angle mode. Now if you put it in angle mode, the helicopter is going to be able to drift, but it's not going to let you flip it upside down. You're still going to have self-leveling, but it will drift around. That'll start getting you used to holding it where it needs to go. Then if you flip it all the way to manual, it's a real helicopter. So be careful about that. At any moment, you can always flip that switch back into GPS. The helicopter's going to self-ride, come right back to where it is. To show you what that looks like, let me come right over here. I'm going to put it in angle mode. There we go. So now I'm flying it. Self-leveling is still enabled, but if I let go of the sticks now, watch. The helicopter's going to descend. I have to catch it. The wind's going to blow it around. You see, I'm not putting a lot of input in, but that helicopter is still pretty stable, but it's going to move around. Now, if I was doing this and I kind of got disoriented, I could always flip it into GPS mode, and it's going to stop right wherever it is, and it's going to set there. There you go. Now, once again, the controls of the helicopter, if we're facing outward, if I bank to the right, you'll see the helicopter will go to the right. If I let go, it's going to stop where it is. If I go to the left, the helicopter is going to come to the left. Let go, it's going to stop. Forward on the stick takes it away from us. Let go. Pull it backwards. The helicopter will come back to us right now. Let go and it'll stop. Now on this side you have altitude, so up and down. And then finally this one is going to turn it left and right, yaw. This is your tail rotor control. All right, let's rip this thing around a little bit. Kind of windy right now, but they handle it very well. You know, the classic maneuver of the Huey is it's coming in over the rice paddies of Vietnam, and then they put the nose up, coming to a stop. Landing LZ looks good. Let's bring her down for a touch and go. Landing LZ's too hot. Let's get out of here. Bringing the guns in here. Just need some like editing. I love it, man. This thing is awesome. You know, the 470 is an awesome size also. Now let's talk about another feature of all these helicopters. I'm gonna fly it out here a little ways. Let's say I'm not comfortable landing this helicopter. Watch this. I'm gonna flip it from off on this top corner switch to return to home. Wherever you took off from, this helicopter is going to try and come land there. Think of it this way. Wherever your GPS was initialized is, that's where it's going to take off. Now it's kind of trying to land on Lori, so here's the cool thing. I can push it right now out a little bit. Let's say I want to go right over here, and now I'm comfortable right where I'm at. I can just let it alone now. So the cool thing is wherever you do the initial takeoff from, power it up, it's going to try and land there. If it's a little off, you can always just move it here. You can also turn it left and right if you need to. Once it gets down, I'm going to put my finger here on the cut switch. It's down on the ground, flip it to cut. So let's get it back up in the air. All you got to do is flip it from return to home back to off. Now we're going to hold the stick down into the bottom to initialize the helicopter. Wait for 5 seconds. Then flip it to run. Here we go, we're taking off again. Listen for it. And advance the throttle again. There we go. This is how easy this is. We'll walk out here with it just to show you guys. I mean, look at how cool that thing is. And it's going to move around a little bit in this wind right now, but not much. I mean, this is how stable that is. How crazy is this? Here we go. Bring in the guns. This maneuver I could never do with full collective pitch. And in this, it's so easy to just do the side slip. Look at that. And it's perfect. These things make you look like a lot better helicopter pilot than I am. But man, you want the coolest toy you could ever get to fly in your backyard or anywhere else, you know, that's not a very big area. I mean, I'm keeping this in, I don't know, 100 foot here. This thing's pretty cool. Now, I will say, this is still a 470 size helicopter. Don't get this thing very close to you. Could be dangerous if you hit yourself with this. So keep that in mind wherever you're flying it. Keep it away from other people, buildings, property. You know, you want a nice open area to fly it in. Get it in a tree would be bad. Wind gust right now, but it's handling it. And the day bright LEDs all over it look great. I guess I could switch them real quick. Let's see, let me bring it right here in front of us. Not sure if it's gonna come across on camera, the LEDs right here. You see our flashing right now. We've got them faster flashing. Solid on the front navs. Still strobing on the back tail. A little faster strobe. And now solid all the way around. So I mean, you have a lot of different settings on the lights you can use. They flip through them here. And that's all on the controller. In the dusk time hour, these things are beautiful. With all the lights on them. All right, let's bring her on in for a landing. I could fly it to LVC, but the flight time is really long on these things. So I'm gonna actually land it manually this time. So check this out. Let's just bring it wherever we want to land it, right here in front of us. Let the helicopter sit there for a second and kind of get itself stabilized in. And then all we're going to do is bring the stick down slowly until we're on the ground. Landed, reach up and hit cut. So guys, that was an awesome flight of the RotorScale 470 helicopter. The little UH-1 is absolutely beautiful, flies fantastic, and I think a lot of guys are going to be really stoked to get these into their hangars. As always, if you're new here at Motion RC, hit that subscribe button, and until next time, whether it's air, land, or sea, you can get it right here at Motion RC. See you in the next video, guys. Bye.